The spaceship was silent, except for the sough hum of machines. Bright white lights shone across the room, reflecting off smooth metal walls. Human Nurse Ella stepped carefully, her boots making small echoes. She had never been this far from Earth before. She had never seen a place like this. The spaceship was huge, bigger than any building she had ever entered. Strange machines blinked and hummed around her. Alien symbols glowed softly on screens she could not read. Ella's heart beat fast. She knew why she was here. The alien queen was dying. Every being in this part of the galaxy depended on her. If she died, wars could start. Civilizations could fall. And here she was, a human nurse, standing in a place where humans were considered weak and fragile. "Stay calm," she whispered to herself. Her hand shook slightly. She was trained to care for patients, yes, but she had trained on humans, not aliens who had 3 hearts and glowing veins. Her uniform felt small and fragile against the enormous presence of alien technology around her. A tall guard moved past her. His skin was deep blue, almost black, and his eyes glowed faintly green. He didn't speak, only nodded once in her direction. Ella understood the meaning. This way. Quickly. She followed silently, trying not to make any mistake. Every sound in the room felt loud. Every shadow looked like it was moving. She had always believed humans were small and weak, but now, in the middle of the spaceship, she felt something strange inside her, a sense of courage she did not know she had. Finally, they arrived at a huge room. The door opened, and she stopped. She had expected a normal medical bay, but this was different. The alien queen lay on a floating bed in the center of the room. Her skin was pale blue, almost translucent. She had long silver hair that shimmered like metal under the lights. Her eyes were closed, but Ella could feel the immense power that radiated from her, even in her weak state. Alien doctors surrounded the queen, speaking in a language Ella could not understand. They moved with urgency, but their actions were calm and precise. Machines hovered around the queen, scanning, monitoring, and adjusting in ways that seemed impossible. Bright tubes ran from walls into the queen's body, glowing with a soft blue light. Ella took a deep breath and stepped closer. She had only seen medical beds like this in pictures, and never on such a scale. She remembered her training. Observe first, act second. But she could not help feeling nervous. One wrong move could be catastrophic. She was just a human, a weak, fragile human. Suddenly, the queen's eyes opened. They glowed icy blue, and Ella felt a chill run down her spine. The queen looked directly at her. Not at the other aliens, not at the machines, but at her. It was as if she could see inside Ella's mind. Ella froze. Her instincts told her to step back, but something stronger kept her rooted to the spot. "You human," a soft, deep voice echoed inside her mind. It was not spoken aloud, but Ella heard it clearly. "Do you understand your role here?" Ella swallowed hard. I am a nurse," she said, her voice shaking. "I will help you. I want to help." The queen's glowing eyes studied her for a long moment. Then, almost imperceptibly, she nodded. Something in that gesture made Ella's chest tighten. She had expected fear, rejection, maybe anger, but not trust. Not from the most powerful being in the galaxy. Behind her, the alien doctors continued their work. Machines beeped and hummed. Yet for Ella, the room had become silent. All she could feel was the queen's energy. It was strange and powerful, like electricity flowing through the air. A part of her body tingled where she stood. She had no idea why, but she knew one thing. She had to do this right. The lead alien doctor turned to her and gestured for her to approach. "Observe the life signs," it said in broken but understandable English. Ella nodded. Her hands were steady now. She checked the monitors, noting the queen's heartbeat, or whatever the alien equivalent was. It was faint, irregular, almost disappearing. Ella could feel the tension in the room. Every guard, every doctor waited silently. Suddenly, an alarm sounded. A red light flashed. Ella's heart jumped. The queen's life signs dropped sharply. Everyone moved quickly. Machines adjusted. Lights flickered. The queen's breathing became shallow. Ella reached out instinctively. her hand hovering over Queen's arm. When she touched the Queen's skin, a jolt ran through her, and a strange warmth spread from her fingers into her chest. Her mind filled with images she could not understand. Stars, planets, battles, and strange beings. The Queen gasped, and Ella almost pulled back, but something held her in place. She realized she was feeling the Queen's pain, her fear, her energy. The guards looked at her with surprise. One of the doctors whispered, "Impossible human touch." Ella had no idea what was happening, but she understood one thing very clearly. The Queen's fate was now tied to her own hands. And at that moment, Ella knew her life, and the life of the galaxy, was about to change forever. Ella could still feel the Queen's energy pulsing through her fingers. It was strange and heavy, like holding a storm in her hand. She stepped back slowly, unsure what just happened. The alien doctors murmured among themselves in rapid, sharp tones. Ella didn't understand words, but the urgency in their voices was clear. "Human, observe the treatment," the lead doctor said again, motioning toward a set of glowing machines. Ella nodded, trying to hide her fear. She followed closely as the doctors moved with precision, adjusting tubes, pressing buttons, and whispering commands. The Queen's skin flickered with soft, shifting lights, like she was breathing in colors instead of air. Ella tried to remember her human medical training. She had studied hearts, lungs, and cells, but nothing in her experience matched what she was seeing. Tubes injected glowing blue liquids into the Queen's veins. Machines measured things Ella couldn't name. She glanced at the monitors. Lines pulsed, twisted, and sometimes disappeared entirely. She felt a pang of helplessness. How could she, a simple human, understand this? Then the Queen's eyes opened again, glowing faintly. She didn't speak aloud, but her presence filled the room. Ella shivered. The Queen's gaze seemed to look into Ella's soul. It was a look that demanded courage, trust, and understanding all at once. The lead doctor turned to Ella. "The Queen's life depends on a source, far from here. Human, you may be the only one who can reach it." Ella froze. Me? Why me?" she asked quietly. Her voice trembled. The alien's language was harsh, but she understood the few English words they spoke. The doctor's eyes glowed faintly, a sign of frustration or urgency. It was hard to tell. Humans, unique. Emotion, balance, life energy. Only a human can connect. Ella tried to process this. Humans were fragile, weak. How could someone like her, just a nurse, be the key to saving the most powerful being in the galaxy? Her heart pounded. Fear tried to take over, but something stronger rose inside her. Determination. She had come this far. She would not fail. Suddenly, the Queen reached out a hand toward Ella. The glowing fingertips hovered just above her shoulder. Ella felt that same strange warmth she had felt before. And then, for a brief moment, a vision flashed in her mind. A planet she had never seen, with jagged mountains, swirling storms, and a glowing crystal at its center. Ella gasped and pulled back slightly. She looked at the Queen. The message was clear. The Queen's life depended on something on that distant planet. The lead doctor's voice broke through the tension. "Human, you must go retrieve the source. Only then the Queen may survive." Ella's mind raced. How could she travel to another planet? How could she survive? But then she realized she didn't have a choice. The Queen had chosen her. She had already felt that connection. Her courage rose again, stronger than fear. As the doctors prepared the necessary equipment for her mission, Ella noticed the alien guards. Their faces were serious, some even skeptical. Humans were considered weak, incapable of handling alien power. Some of them whispered to each other, unsure if this human could succeed where they could not. Ella felt a pang of loneliness. She was far from home, surrounded by beings who could crush her with glance, facing a mission that seemed impossible. And yet, a tiny spark inside her refused to fade. She tightened her fists. She could do this. She had to. The lead doctor handed her a small device. It glowed softly in her hand. "This will guide you," the doctor said. "But beware, others will try to stop you. The journey, dangerous. Human, ready yourself." Ella nodded, though doubt crept into her mind. The device was unlike anything she had ever seen. It pulsed with energy, almost alive, and she felt it calling her toward the vision she had seen earlier. She turned to look at the Queen one last time. The Queen's eyes softened, glowing with trust and hope. Ella felt a tear form in her eye. This was no longer just a job. This was life, not just for the Queen, but for the galaxy itself. And somehow, the weight of that responsibility rested on her shoulders alone. A sudden alarm rang through the room. Red lights flashed across the walls. Ella froze. The Queen's monitor spiked, showing danger. A group of unknown figures had approached the ship. Intruders. The lead doctor moved swiftly, shielding the Queen. The guards drew weapons, glowing and sharp, ready to defend. Ella could only clutch the device in her hand, feeling its warmth spread into her chest. She realized something frightening and exhilarating at the same time. This mission would not only test her courage, but also her very humanity. For the first time, Ella understood the truth. Humans were not weak. Humans were different. And perhaps, in that difference, lay a power the galaxy had never seen before. As the spaceship prepared to launch her toward the distant, stormy planet, Ella took a deep breath. Her journey had begun. The Queen's life, the future of countless civilizations, rested on her, and she was ready to face whatever waited in the shadows of the unknown. The council chamber was enormous. Tall pillars of glowing crystal stretched toward the ceiling, and soft light shimmered across the walls. Alien leaders from across the galaxy had gathered, their forms strange and magnificent. Some floated in the air, some had wings, and some had glowing limbs. Ella had never seen such beings before. They whispered and clicked in their languages, voices echoing like wine through a canyon. Ella felt small, almost invisible, as she was led into the room. The guards bowed slightly, signaling respect for the council. She had never imagined she would stand here, a human, in front of beings whose power and history dwarfed everything she knew. The lead doctor stepped forward. "Human, your mission is clear. The Queen's life depends on the source. You must retrieve it. Only you can succeed." A murmur ran through the council. Some aliens looked skeptical. "A human?" One hissed, its voice like metal scraping stone. "They are fragile. How can they survive what we cannot?" Ella swallowed hard. She could feel her heart racing. Fear pressed against her chest like a heavy weight. But beneath the fear, there was determination. She had already touched the Queen. She had felt the energy flowing through her. Somehow, she knew she was capable. One of the council members, a tall figure with translucent skin and glowing veins, floated closer. Its voice was calm but firm. "Human, you are the only one who can reach the forbidden planet. Others will fail. Your kind feels in ways we cannot. That feeling is the key." Ella nodded slowly. She wanted to speak, but words felt small. How could she explain that she was terrified, yet ready? That she was just a nurse, yet somehow carrying the hopes of a queen and the fate of the galaxy? A sudden alarm echoed through the chamber. Red lights flashed briefly. Guards moved quickly, checking the perimeter. Ella's eyes widened. "What's happening?" she whispered. "Testing the urgency," the lead doctor replied. "The Queen's life declines with every moment. You cannot wait. You must go now." Ella took a deep breath. Her hands shook slightly, but she forced herself to steady them. She could do this. She had to. If she failed, the Queen, the ship, and countless lives would be lost. The council floated closer, surrounding her. "Human, you must understand," said the tall, translucent one. "The forbidden planet is not empty. Others desire the source. You will face danger. Your courage alone will be tested." Ella's mind raced. Danger. Unknown enemies. Strange creatures. Alien technology she could barely imagine. But she remembered the warmth she felt when touching the Queen. She remembered the vision of the glowing planet. That memory strengthened her resolve. I will go," Ella said finally, her voice steady. "I will retrieve the source." A moment of silence followed. Then the Queen, lying weak but alive on her floating bed in the chamber, opened her glowing eyes. She reached out toward Ella. "Thank you, human," a soft voice echoed inside Ella's mind. "Your courage will change everything." Ella felt a shiver run through her. The Queen's words were strange, almost like a gift. She had never felt such trust, such connection with anyone before. The council nodded. A small device floated toward Ella, glowing softly. "This will guide you," said the lead doctor. "It will connect with the energy of the source. But beware, there will be obstacles. Others will try to stop you. You must succeed." Ella took the device in her hands. It hummed, almost alive. She could feel its warmth spreading into her chest. She understood that this journey was not just about speed or strength. It was about heart, courage, and the strange connection humans had with life itself. One of the council members, its wings shimmering, leaned closer. "Human, you are not alone. The Queen chose you for a reason. Trust yourself. Trust your instincts. Only then will the source reveal itself." Ella nodded. She could feel fear pressing against her, but she also felt determination burning brighter. She was a human. She was small, but she was strong in ways the council could not understand. As the guards prepared the spaceship for her journey, Ella took one last look at the Queen. The Queen's glowing eyes filled her with hope. Ella whispered softly, "I won't fail you." The spacecraft's doors closed behind her, sealing her inside. Lights hummed as engines powered up. Outside, the stars stretched into lines as the ship prepared to jump into faster-than-light travel. Ella held the glowing device tightly in her hands. Her mission was dangerous, uncertain, and terrifying, but she was ready. Somewhere deep inside, Ella knew one truth. Humans were small, but they could do incredible things. And now, the galaxy was about to see it for itself. The spaceship shook as it jumped into faster-than-light travel. Stars stretched into lines outside the viewing window, and the hum of engines filled the cabin. Ella held the glowing device tightly in her hands. It pulsed gently, almost alive, guiding her toward the forbidden planet she had seen in the vision. Her heart raced with every passing second. She had trained as a nurse, not an explorer. She had treated fevers, broken bones, and infections, not traveled across galaxies to save an alien queen. But fear and doubt faded as determination took over. She reminded herself she had to succeed. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. Ella studied the device. A soft blue light glowed, pointing her in the right direction. Strange symbols flickered across its surface. She didn't understand them, but she felt their meaning. Move forward, stay focused, do not give up. Finally, the spaceship emerged from faster-than-light travel into a vast system of planets. One planet stood out, jagged mountains, swirling storms, and a strange green glow emanating from its core. The device vibrated in her hands. "This is it," she thought. Her chest tightened with both fear and excitement. As the ship entered the planet's atmosphere, turbulence rocked it violently. Lightning-like streaks flashed across dark clouds. Ella gripped her seat, her knuckles white. Outside, enormous flying creatures swooped through the clouds, their wings spanning wider than any building she had seen. Some glowed with strange energy. Others had sharp, metallic scales. The device pulsed faster, almost warning her. Danger is near. The ship landed on a rocky plateau. Ella stepped out cautiously. The air was thick and heavy. Every breath felt charged with electricity. The sky above swirled with strange colors, greens, purples, and flashes of white lightning. The ground beneath her boots shifted slightly, as if the planet itself was alive. Ella pulled the device close. A soft glow led her toward a narrow canyon. The walls were jagged, sharp, and slick with a strange green liquid. Every step echoed loudly. Shadows moved in the corners of her eyes. She could feel that she was not alone. Suddenly, a low growl echoed from the canyon. Ella froze. Out of the shadows, a creature leapt. It had 4 legs, glowing red eyes, and scales that reflected the storm above. Its teeth were sharp, almost metallic. Ella stumbled back, her pulse pounding. The creature circled her, ready to attack. Remembering her training and instinct, Ella stayed calm. She reached for a small device the council had given her. It emitted a soft hum. The creature hesitated, then slowly backed away, as if sensing the device's energy. Ella realized the device was not just a guide. It was also a shield. She continued forward, moving carefully. More creatures emerged from the shadows, but the device pulsed and protected her. The canyon twisted deeper into the planet, and the temperature dropped. Green mist rose from cracks in the ground. Ella could barely see the path ahead. Then she reached a vast chamber inside the canyon. At its center, a glowing crystal floated above a pedestal. The crystal pulsed with light, sending waves of energy across the chamber. Ella's heart leapt. This must be the source. But as she stepped closer, the ground trembled. From the shadows, figures emerged, alien mercenaries, armed and ready. Their mission was clear: stop anyone from reaching the crystal. Ella's pulse raced. She was just a human, surrounded by dangerous beings in a hostile planet. She gripped the device. It pulsed fiercely, almost alive in her hands. She realized the journey would not be easy. She had to use her courage, intelligence, and instinct to survive. The crystal glowed brighter, as if calling to her. The device guided her step by step, moving through traps and pitfalls. Spikes shot from the ground, walls shifted, and energy barriers rose. But Ella moved carefully. Every step was calculated. Every breath counted. Finally, she reached the crystal. It floated above the pedestal, spinning slowly. Energy waves rippled outward. Ella felt a strange warmth in her chest. She knew this was what the Queen needed. She reached out, and as her fingers touched the crystal, light surged into her. It was like holding the universe in her hands. She gasped, feeling power and life energy flow through her, connecting her to the Queen. Outside, the alien mercenaries growled in frustration. They could not reach her. She felt a strange bond with the crystal, as if it recognized her courage and humanity. The planet itself seemed to hum, acknowledging her presence. Ella knew she had succeeded in reaching the source, but the journey was far from over. She had the power now, but she still had to return to the spaceship, to the Queen, and survive the dangers of both planet and enemy mercenaries. Her adventure had entered a new stage. She was no longer just a nurse. She was a human who might save the Queen, and maybe even the galaxy. Ella stood in the glowing chamber, her heart still racing. The crystal floated before her, spinning slowly and pulsing with energy. It was beautiful, almost alive, and she felt it calling to her. The warmth in her chest grew stronger, spreading to her hands and legs. She realized she wasn't just touching the crystal. She was becoming a part of it. A sudden thought crossed her mind. This power, it is connected to humans? She remembered the Queen's words, the Council's warnings. Humans were weak, but somehow different. Humans could feel in ways aliens could not. And maybe that was the key. Ella took a deep breath and placed both hands on the crystal. Waves of energy surged through her. Colors she had never seen dance before her eyes. Blue, green, gold, and silver. Her mind filled with visions. Planets, stars, wars, and alien civilizations. She saw the Queen lying weak on the spaceship. She felt her pain, her life energy flickering like a dying flame. Then the crystal spoke, not with words, but with a voice in her mind. Human, your heart is the key. Your courage, your empathy, these awaken the life force. Only you can carry it back. Ella gasped. She had never imagined something like this. The crystal was not just a machine or an artifact. It was alive. It recognized her as human, as a being capable of feeling deeply, of caring, of connecting with others. That human quality, the thing aliens often underestimated, was the source's power. Suddenly, the chamber shook. The alien mercenaries who had followed her tried to enter. The ground trembled, and energy barriers rose around her. She realized the crystal was protecting her, but only because she had the courage to touch it, to connect with it. One of the mercenaries shouted something in their language. Ella didn't understand, but she understood the intent. Attack. Her pulse raced. She looked at the crystal and felt a surge of energy. It was strange. She could control it, just a little, with her will and feelings. A wave of light shot from the crystal, pushing the mercenaries back. They stumbled and fell, shocked by the invisible force. Ella realized this was not violence. It was a crystal responding to her heart, her intent, her desire to save life, not destroy it. Breathing heavily, Ella stepped forward. The crystal pulsed faster, and her mind cleared. She could see the path back to the spaceship, glowing faintly in her vision. She understood now. The crystal's energy could heal the queen, but only if she returned. She had to carry it through the dangers of the planet, through enemy attacks, and back to the ship. As she prepared to leave, the crystal showed her another vision. This time, it was not about power, it was about choice. She saw herself standing before the queen, hands glowing with energy. She saw alien civilizations watching, waiting for a human to act. She understood that the fate of the galaxy was intertwined with her courage, her humanity, and her willingness to act. Ella's chest tightened. She had never felt so small, and yet so important at the same time. Humans were fragile, yes, but their empathy, their emotions, their ability to connect, that was strength. That was power the galaxy had never known. Suddenly, a strange figure appeared at the edge of the chamber. Unlike the mercenaries, this being was cloaked in shimmering energy. Its voice echoed in her mind. "Human, you have awakened what we thought impossible. The Queen's life, the balance of the galaxy, now depends on you." Ella's pulse quickened. She had found the source. She understood its secret. But she also realized that her journey was far from over. Returning to the Queen would not be easy. The mercenaries, the planet's dangers, the unknown challenges, all awaited her. She tightened her grip on the crystal, feeling the energy flow through her. Her fear was still there, but it was mixed with determination. She was a human, fragile but strong in ways no one had expected. And now, she carried the key to saving the most powerful being in the galaxy. With one last look at the glowing chamber, Ella stepped toward the exit, the crystal pulse in her hands, lighting her path. She knew that every step back to the spaceship would test her courage, her strength, and her humanity. The forbidden planet had revealed its secret. Humans were not weak. They were different, and that difference could change the galaxy forever. As she moved forward, the audience feels the suspense. Will Ella survive the journey back? Can she carry the crystal to heal the Queen? What dangers lie ahead? Ella ran to the rocky canyon, the glowing crystal safe in her hands. Its energy pulsed gently, guiding her back toward the spaceship. Every step felt heavy, but she pushed forward, remembering the Queen's words and the device's warnings. The fate of the galaxy rested on her shoulders. The alien mercenaries were not far behind. Their shouts echoed through the jagged rocks. Some creatures of the planet stirred, sensing her energy. Lightning flashed across the dark green sky, illuminating their paths. Ella could feel the tension, the danger. Every moment counted. One mistake could cost her life and the Queen's. She reached a narrow cliff. Below, the ground fell sharply into a glowing abyss. Her heart pounded. The device pulsed in her hands, almost urging her onward. She took a deep breath, stepped forward carefully, and jumped across a gap between jagged rocks. Her feet barely landed on the other side. She stumbled but kept running. Suddenly, one of the mercenaries appeared, blocking her path. It towered over her, its glowing eyes fixed. Ella froze for a second, panic threatening to take over. But then she remembered the crystal's energy. She lifted it high. A wave of blue and gold light shot out, striking the mercenary. It staggered backward, surprised by the force. Ella ran past it, her courage growing with every step. The canyon twisted and turned. Spikes shot from the ground, walls shifted, and strange energy barriers appeared. Ella dodged, ducked, and jumped, relying on both the device and the crystal. Her human instincts, her quick thinking and calm under pressure, kept her alive. She realized with a rush of awe that this was the power the aliens had underestimated. Humans were fragile, yes, but they were clever, resilient, and brave. Meanwhile, back on the spaceship, the Queen's monitors showed rapid decline. Her breaths came in short, weak bursts. The alien doctors worked frantically, but without the crystal, nothing could stabilize her. Guards whispered urgently. The room was tense with fear. Every second counted. Ella glanced at the device. It pulsed brighter, pointing her toward the landing site. She ran across a narrow ridge, the abyss below glowing green with strange energy. Behind her, the mercenaries roared, their weapons ready. She leapt again, landing hard but steady. The crystal's warmth flowed into her, giving her strength. Then the sky darkened further. A massive storm formed above, lightning striking near her path. Rocks shifted, the ground cracked, and the mercenaries pressed closer. Ella felt fear creeping in, but she clenched her fists and ran faster. She could hear the Queen's voice in her mind. "Courage, human! Save me!" Finally, the edge of the plateau appeared. The spaceship's hatch glowed in the distance. She sprinted the last stretch, dodging falling debris and energy blasts from the mercenaries. With a leap of faith, she landed inside the ship. The doors closed behind her, shielding her from the storm outside. Ella collapsed, gasping for breath, the crystal still glowing in her hands. The alien doctors rushed to her side, astonished. The Queen's monitors flickered, showing signs of stabilization. Ella approached the floating bed. She reached out and placed the crystal gently on the Queen's chest. A wave of light flowed from the crystal into the Queen. Her pale skin slowly regained color. Her glowing eyes brightened. Breath by breath, she came back to life. The room filled with awe. Guards and doctors alike stepped back, amazed by the human's courage and power. Ella watched, exhausted but triumphant. The Queen opened her eyes fully, glowing and strong once more. She looked directly at Ella, and for the first time, a faint smile touched her lips. "You humans saved me." The Queen's voice echoed in Ella's mind. Ella felt a warmth spread through her chest. She had survived the dangers of the Forbidden Planet, fought mercenaries, and brought the crystal back. She had done what no alien could. She had proven that humans were not weak. They were different, brave, and capable of extraordinary things. The alien council members floated forward, nodding in respect. Whispers filled the room. Incredible, human courage never seen before. Ella realized that she had not just saved the Queen. She had changed the way the galaxy saw her kind forever. But even in victory, Ella knew one truth. The journey had tested her limits, and greater challenges would come. The galaxy was vast, full of danger, mystery, and power. And now, she was part of it, a human who had faced the impossible and survived. The chamber glowed with soft, golden light. The crystal still pulsed gently in Ella's hands as she stood beside the Queen's floating bed. Every being in the room watched silently, their eyes wide with awe. The Queen's pale blue skin slowly regained its natural glow, and her breathing became steady. Ella placed the crystal on the Queen's chest. Light flowed from it, intertwining with the Queen's energy. Slowly, the Queen's eyes opened. They shone brighter than before, icy blue light, radiating strength and power. She sat up slightly, lifting a hand toward Ella. "You human," the Queen whispered, her voice firm and clear. "You have saved me. You have saved my people and the galaxy." Ella's heart raced. She felt exhausted, but a deep sense of pride filled her. She had risked everything. She had traveled to Forbidden Planet, faced mercenaries, navigated dangers, and returned with the source. She had done the impossible. The alien council members floated closer, their faces filled with astonishment and respect. "Incredible," one whispered. "We never imagined a human could accomplish this." Another nodded, murmuring, "Your courage, your heart, it is beyond our understanding." Ella realized something she had always known deep down. Humans were fragile, yes, but they were also courageous, clever, and full of heart. And sometimes that was enough to change the course of the galaxy. The Queen rose fully from her bed, her power radiating across the chamber. She turned to the council, and then back to Ella. "This human has shown what my kind never expected. Humans small, yet capable of extraordinary things. Let all worlds remember this day." A cheer rose among some of the alien guards and doctors. Others still stared, stunned, unable to comprehend what had just happened. Ella felt the warmth of the crystal fade slightly, its energy absorbed by the Queen. She smiled weakly, knowing her mission was complete. The Queen floated closer to Ella, placing a glowing hand on her shoulder. "Your courage, your heart, your humanity saved me. You are not just a nurse. You are a guardian, a hero. And now, humans will never again be underestimated." Ella's chest swelled with pride. She had started as a simple human nurse, far from her home, unsure and afraid. Now, she had proven that humans were not weak. They were different, strong in ways aliens could not understand. The council stepped forward, bowing slightly. From this day, humans are recognized as beings of value, courage, and power. The galaxy owes you gratitude, human. Ella nodded humbly. She felt tired, yes, but her heart was light. She looked at the queen, at the glowing chamber, at the beings around her, and realized something incredible. One human could make a difference. One small, fragile human could change the galaxy forever. The queen's eyes softened. Rest now, human. You have earned it. The galaxy is safer because of you. Ella smiled, a tear slipping down her cheek. She knew this was not the end. The universe was vast and dangerous, full of mysteries and challenges. But she had faced the impossible and survived. She had shown what it meant to be human. Outside the chamber, the stars shone brighter than ever. Somewhere, far across the galaxy, other humans and aliens would hear the story of the human nurse who saved an alien queen. They would remember that courage, empathy, and heart were powers no technology, no weapon, no being could ever fully match. Ella looked at the queen one last time. A soft voice echoed in her mind, the queen's gratitude and trust blending into a promise. This is only the beginning. The galaxy will never forget the human who saved its queen. And in that moment, Ella knew something she had always felt deep down. Humans were small, but they could do extraordinary things. And sometimes, that was all the universe needed to change forever.